Hello guys, and welcome again to Revit Architecture 2019 tutorial. So in this exercise, we are going to add and modify walls in our building model. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to add generic walls to our model. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in that to this portion here. By the way, if you remember, this is the last exercise that we created. We created grids and columns, right? Okay, anyway, so I'm going to zoom in here. So I'm going to select here the wall tool, and I'm going to select from the type selector 150 mm generic. All right, this one. So generic 150 mm. So I'm going to select this. And since this is rectangular in shape, I'm going to select here rectangle. Okay, so that's my rectangle. And then for the location line, I'm going to use the default here. And I want my wall to be, the height is 8,000. I want that to be 8,000. So I'm not going to change this. So the height is unconnected, 8,000. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the upper left corner here. I'm going to pick that. And then after that, I'm going to select the lower right corner here to create my wall. Okay. And then I'm going to select here modify to terminate the tool. Okay, so in 3D view, it looks like this. I'm going to select this. All right, so this is the wall that I just created. Now, going back to my ground floor here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another type of wall. Okay, so this time I'm going to create a foundation wall. All right, so I'm going to select the wall again here, wall, and from the type selector, I'm going to select foundation 300. So where are you? Foundation 300 concrete. Okay. So note that when creating foundation walls, the top of the wall is set to the current level by default. Okay. The top of the wall of your foundation wall is set to the current level by default. So you set the depth of the foundation wall. So the depth of this is top of footing. So meaning to say from ground floor, it will go down until the top of footing level. Okay. So again, I'm going to select the rectangle here. Okay. Same location line, core face exterior. So I'm going to start creating here. So I'm going to pick one, then I'm going to select here two. And then as you can see, there's a warning here. It says that none of the elements, created elements are visible in our floor plan ground floor view. So you may want to check the active view, its parameters, and visibility settings, as well as any plan regions and their settings. All right, so you just need to close this one. You just need to close the warning with the message stating that none of the created elements are visible in the view because the foundation walls are below the view range. That's why you are seeing this and you are not able to see the wall that we created, the foundation wall that we created. Well, it's because of the view range. Okay, so it is below the view range. Now, what we are going to do, I'm just going to close this, is I'm going to select here modify, and then let us check this in our 3D view. So I'm going to select this, and there you go. Okay, so this is the foundation wall that we created. So if I'm going to change the visual style to shaded, so this is how it looks like. Okay, now, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open now the top of footing level. Okay, top of footing level. So expect that you will now be able to see this wall that we created, this foundation wall that we created, because we are now at the top of footing level. Just double click that, and there you go. So if I'm going to select this, you will notice that that is now our 300 concrete foundation wall. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to create a new wall type from an existing wall. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to select here the wall, and then using the basic wall foundation 300 concrete, I'm going to select here edit type. All right, so edit type, and then, all right, from the type properties, I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, I'm going to use the property of this by duplicating it. So duplicate, and then just need to change the name. So let's say I'm going to call this footing. Okay, so that is my footing wall. Then after that, I'm going to select here. Okay, there you go. So there's my footing. And after that, I'm going to change the structure. So I'm going to go ahead and select the structure here. Okay, edit the structure. And then for the thickness, instead of 300, I'm going to make this 600. Okay, and then I'm going to select here. Okay. All right, so that's my footing with a width of 600. And then I'm just going to select here. Okay. Now on the options bar, okay, for the options bar, I'm going to change here the depth to, let's say, 450, 450, this one. So meaning to say from the top of footing, it will go down 450. Okay, and then for the location line, instead of core face exterior, I want to change that to wall center line. So I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to select now again the rectangle. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to change first the view range of this. Okay, I'm just going to cancel first the wall here. To cancel the wall, you can right click and select your cancel. Okay, so after you cancel that, don't worry, the setting of the wall that we created a while ago, it's already set up. Okay, so no need for you to redo the process. So what I'm going to do before I create our footing, I'm going to change here the view range. So I'm going to select this one. All right, and then for the view depth, instead of associated level top of footing, I'm going to select here unlimited. Okay, so I'm going to select that, and then after that, I'm going to select here OK. So the view depth is now unlimited. So the wall that we are going to create, which is the footing, I'm going to select the wall again, the footing, rectangle. Okay, again, it's 450 wall center line. So I'm going to snap here at the midpoint here. So if I click this one, you will notice the wall can now be seen because we have changed the view range to unlimited, the view depth to unlimited. If we are not going to do that, you will not be able to see that, just like the foundation wall that we created on our ground floor a while ago. But now that we have changed the view range, the view depth to unlimited, we are now able to see our our footing wall. All right. And then I can now select here modify. Okay, so if I'm going to check this in my 3D view, this is how it looks like. There you go. So this is our generic wall, and then this is our foundation wall, and then this is our footing. Okay, I can also go back to my footing, and I can create here a section by selecting this one, section. So I can pick here as my first point, and then I'm going to pick another point here. There you go. Okay, I can adjust that by clicking this, and then I can select here modify to deselect the section. So this section that I created, it's now added here on our project browser. You just need to go to the sections. This is the one. So if I'm going to hover my pointer here, you will notice views, section, section view. So meaning to say, this section name is section 1, this one. So if I open this, that is actually the section. Okay, so as you can see, this is our foundation wall, this is our this is our generic wall, our foundation wall, and then our footing. Okay, again, we can change this to shaded so you can see it there nicely. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to modify existing walls. Okay, so I'm going to modify existing wall. So to do that, I'm going back to my ground floor again. Ground floor. All right, ground floor. And after that, I'm going to change here the properties. This one, I'm going to select this wall here. I'm going to go ahead and select the upper horizontal wall. And then from the properties here, under the constraint here, the base constraint. So as you can see, the base constraint by default is ground floor. I'm going to change this to main floor. So what will happen is this wall that we have selected, it will move up to the level of main floor. So I'm going to select the main floor, and then I'm going to select here, apply. And you will notice it will disappear because the upper horizontal wall is no longer displayed in our ground floor view. It already moves up to the main floor. Okay, so that's why if I'm going to select here the 3D view, this is how it looks like. You see, it's already moved up to our main floor level. So this is the main floor level. Okay, so going back to our ground floor here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use split tool. Okay, I'm going to use the split tool from the modify. Right, I'm going to select split element. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And I'm going to hover my pointer along the wall, and then I want 3000. So once I see the 3000 here, I'm going to click. Okay, so same with the other side. So I'm going to select here, hover my pointer again, and make sure 3000 is the temporary dimension shows 3000. Then I'm going to click. There you go. And then I'm going to select here modify. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to select the two walls that I have splitted, these short two walls. I'm going to click this and hold control and then click this one. Okay, so as you can see, these two walls are now selected. So what I'm going to do is from the base constraint, I'm going to change it from ground floor to main floor. So I'm going to raise that also just like the horizontal wall that we have here a while ago. So now you can't see that because it's already moved to the main floor. So if I go to the 3D view, this is how it looks like, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select this wall here in my 3D view. I'm gonna go ahead and select that, and then I'm going to change the property of that. Okay. So from the top constraints, so instead of ground floor, I'm going to change that to what? You guess it right, main floor. So I'm going to select main floor for the top constraint and then apply. Then it will now move up here. There you go. All right. Okay, next. This wall here, I'm going to attach to this wall here. So to do that, I'm going to select this wall. And then there's an option here, attach top base. Okay, attach top base. So I click that one, and then I'm going to select this wall. All right, and then click outside. So it's now attached. So same with this wall here. So I'm going to select this wall, and then attach top base, and then you can click this. There you go. Okay. So basically, that's how you modify it. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add interior walls. All right. So to add interior walls, I'm going to open again my ground floor view. And then from the architecture, I'm going to select the wall tool again. Okay, wall tool. And then from the type selector, let me select interior wall 123. Okay, 123 partition 1 hour type of wall. So I'm going to select this one. Okay. And then after that, on my options bar, so I'm just going to make sure that main floor is selected. So meaning to say the wall that I'm going to create will start from ground floor to main floor level. Okay. And then I'm going to clear also the chain here so that the I will not be able to create a chain of walls. So I just want to create one wall at a time. Okay. So I'm going to uncheck the chain here and just make sure the line here is selected. Okay, and what else? Location line is wall center line. So I'm now going to uh, click from here. Okay, right. So from my lower wall, okay. So from this wall here, I'm going to move my pointer along this wall, and then once I see the temporary dimension, I'm going to type 6,100. 6,100, enter. There you go. And then I'm now going to click to the opposite side here. And then I just select here modify. Got it? Okay, and then let's try to add some more walls. So I'm going to use the same type of this wall. So instead of going to the wall tool, which you can also which you can do that, but in my case, I'm going to select the wall, and then I'm going to right click, and then there's an option here, create similar. So I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to pick from here. The exact location is not critical, so I'm just going to pick one, and then I select here modify. Okay, to set the distance between the left wall and the new vertical wall. So I'm going to select this wall here and then change the temporary dimension to, let's say, 3,300. 3,300. 3,200, sorry. 3,200. And then after that, I'm going to select here, modify. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this wall to the other side. So how to mirror? So I can select this, and then there's an option here called mirror draw axis. Oh, mirror draw axis, and then I'm going to pick the midpoint somewhere here, and then I'm going to pick another point here. Okay. All right, and then after that, I'm going to create another wall here. Okay, so I'm going to select this, right click, create similar, and then I'm going to move my pointer along this wall. And then again, once I see the temporary dimension, I'm going to type the distance that I want. Like for example, 1,800. Okay, and then I'm going to click to the other side. There you go. And then I just select here, modify. All right, now, so let us add some more walls here. Let's add, let's say, four more walls, four short walls. One, two, three, four. So let's create. So I click one wall. Again, I'll use create similar. So I'm going to pick here. One, two, three, four. And then I select modify. Okay, now from left to right, I'm going to change the distances of my wall. All right, so to start with, I'm going to click this wall, and then I'm going to change this. Let's say 4,300. Okay, and then the second one, the second short wall, so it's say 3,400. Same with this, I click 3,400, and then this one, I click 5,400. There you go. Okay. So these are now the walls. So I'm going to create another walls this time to this portion here, the above portion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror. All right. So let me mirror these four walls here. Okay. So I'll try to mirror. Okay, I'm not going to mirror it. I'll just create it. So I'll just select the wall here, right click, create similar. Okay, let me create four walls. One, two, three, four. Let's make it five. All right, five. All right, and then I select here modify. And then after that, let me create another wall here. So create similar. So I'm going to create wall to here, wall to here. Okay. Now, so let's start to change again the dimension or the distances. So I'm going to select this wall. I'm going to change the distance here. Let's say 5,300. There you go. And then for this wall, I'm going to change that 3,000. All right. This one, I click. I change the dimension here, 4,300. All right. So this one, I'm going to change that 4,600. And then last one, I click this one, 4,300. There you go. Okay. So these are now the walls that I want to be in the building that I'm going to do. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the height of this wall to this one. Okay. The distance. So I'm going to select the horizontal wall, this one. So let me just change the height of that. So let me change that to 2,000. And this one, let me click, let me change this to 3,200. Okay, there you go. So in 3D view, this is how it looks like. All right, all right. Okay, now the next exercise that we are going to do is we are going to create a new interior wall type. Okay, so last time we created an exterior, a new exterior wall type. So this time we are going to create new interior wall type. Okay, so going back to my ground floor, so I'm going to select again the wall here and then make sure that 123 mm partition is selected. So I'm going to select here type again. Okay, type again, it will open the type properties. And if you still remember a while ago, to create a new type of the wall, so you can duplicate it first, duplicate, and then you can change here the name. So let's say this is interior, let's say plumbing chase, and then I'll just select here OK. Interior plumbing chase. Right, and then I'm going to select here edit, and then it will open the edit assembly here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to uh, change the property of my walls here. So I have the finish face, I have the structure, and then the finish again. So what I'm going to do is for the finish interior, I'm going to make it 90. And this one, I'm going to make it 120 for the structure. And then for this one, I'm going to select 90. Now, if you want to have a preview of this structure of the wall, so you can select your preview, and then you can change this to section if you want. There you go. So as you can see, if I click this one, so this is the finish face interior. If I click this, this is the structure, the 120, and then this is the interior as well. Actually, you can change the material of this. So instead of both interior, you can change that to any other material. But in this exercise, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to select here OK. All right, and then OK again to close the type properties. Now that we have created a new interior wall type, so I'm now going to place and modify a new wall. So I'm going to click from here to here, and then I select here modify. Now, what I want to do is I want to align this wall to this line here. So from the modify, I'm going to select align. All right, and then I'm going to select this one. This is where I want this wall to be aligned. So I'm going to select this portion here. So it's now aligned, and then I select here modify. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create another wall, the partition 123. This one, I click this, and then in my view window here, I'm going to create another wall here. Okay, one, two, and then I select here modify. Okay. Then after that, I'm going to select this wall, and then I'm going to change the distance here. So let's say I'm going to type 1700. There you go. And then I select here modify. Right, now I want to create an opening here. So to create an opening here, I'm going to select modify, and then I'm going to select split element. So I'm going to split this one. There you go. So it's now split. Modify to deselect it. So I'm going to use this time trim extend to corner. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this wall here. 1, 2. Select the two sides that you want to remain. 1, 2. There you go. Okay. So this is now the walls that we want to be added to our building model. So if we are going to select that in 3D view or view that in 3D view, this is how it looks like. Okay. So that's it for this exercise. Hopefully you like this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. So if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, just put it on the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.